Hello. Yesterday you practiced taking notes using the box and bullet method. Today I want to review some text structures that you can be on the lookout for and some diagrams you could use to organize your thinking. To access these organizers, you can use these two links here. There is a one-sheet planning page, which you should have in your PALs from earlier in the year, and then there are individual graphic organizer pages. I'll show you what they look like. Here are the 5 nonfiction text structures: descriptive, compare and contrast, cause and effect, sequential, and problem and solution. These might be familiar to you from an earlier WIN session that you guys did when you rotated between the entire 3rd grade team. They have clue words and diagrams that you could use to help organize your thinking. The other pages available are actual blank copies of these charts that you're welcome to print out or just draw in your own notebook. You don't actually have to print them. So again, problem and solution, compare and contrast, sequential, description, and cause and effect. As you're reading, you want to look out for some of these signal words to try to get a feel for what kind of text structure the author is using. And then you can use these diagrams to help organize your thoughts. I'm going to read this penguin book by Tammy Kennington, and I'm going to focus on one of my penguin subtopics, diet. So I'm going to look at my table of contents and see if anything jumps out that seems like it might be related to a penguin's diet. Chapter 1, In the Swim. Chapter 2, Birds of a Feather. Chapter 3, The Thrill of Krill. Ooh. Krill is actually a tiny shrimp-like animal, and that might be something that penguins eat. So I'm going to go check out page 14. So you can do this by changing the pages here, or I'm going to use this little arrow and slide this way. 12, 14. Too far. Oh, perfect. Here's a picture of a penguin with a fish in its mouth. And it says penguins are carnivores, meaning that they eat meat. So I'm going to go ahead and say I was right. This is a chapter about the penguin's diet. It says penguins are natural predators. So that means that they hunt for their food. They have good eyesight and use their flippers to move through the water. Penguins can flap their flippers up to 237 times in one dive. Their favorite food has a difficult time getting away. Ooh. So it seems like because the penguins are such great swimmers, their food, maybe like the fish and the krill, have a hard time getting away from them. So maybe their prey is much slower than them. Some species hunt together. Others look for food on their own. But all penguins like to eat food that lives in large groups. It makes mealtime much easier. Smaller penguins eat tiny shrimp-like animals called krill. Bigger penguins enjoy squid and fish. So now we know that penguins eat krill, squid, and fish. And we also learned that penguins like to hunt for food that travel in big groups. So if you see a big group of fish swimming together, typically you call that a school of fish. And penguins like to hunt on animals that swim in those large groups or those large schools. I'm wondering if it makes it easier to make sure you catch something, even if the one you originally targeted kind of got away from you. Noticing so far, this page has been a lot about things that the penguins have and how it makes it easier for them to catch their food. So some signal words are consequently, therefore, as a result, reason why, because of, and maybe due to. And this one here, the reason why, really kind of triggered my brain to think that Tammy must be using cause and effect here in this chapter because she's kind of telling me the benefits and the things about the penguin, and as a result, the reason why they're able to catch so much food. So I'm going to start filling in my cause and effect chart. Okay, so I know that they just told me that because penguins have good eyesight, and it said something about their flippers. These are flippers up to 237 times in one dive. So maybe that means that they like swim fast. Penguin have good eyesight and swim fast with their flippers. So that's my cause. And the effect is they're able to easily catch their prey. Okay. We also learned that penguins look for large groups or schools of prey. And again, I think that that maybe makes it, the effect is it makes it easy to catch at least one fish, shrimp, or krill. Okay. So again, all I'm doing is thinking about the causes, the things that the penguins have because the penguin has this or because of the strength of the penguin. The effect is that it's easier to catch their prey and easier to get one that they're much faster. We're going to go back to our book. I'm going to turn the page and let's try this one. So sometimes a penguin's diet depends on where it lives and which food is easiest to find. Because penguins eat up to 5 pounds, ooh, there's that signal word, because penguins eat up to 5 pounds of food every day, they spend a lot of time hunting. Penguins will often swim up to 4 miles to find the catch of the day. The emperor penguin sometimes travels as far as 903 miles in one hunting trip. That is a very far distance. In fact, that's almost as far as if we traveled from New Jersey all the way to Disney in Florida. That's a really far distance, especially to be swimming as a penguin. So we learned that they eat up to 5 pounds a day, but I'm not sure what the cause is just yet. Or maybe because they need to eat at least 5 pounds, they swim for miles and miles each day. Let's try and add that to our chart. So penguins eat up to 5 pounds of food each day. And as the effect is, they can swim for miles and miles each day hunting. Okay, let's try this next page. While penguins eat a lot, all penguins fast or stop eating twice each year. Penguins will fast when they begin to molt or lose their old feathers. So we have 2 key words here, molt and fast. To fast is when you kind of stop eating for a while, and to molt is when a penguin loses its feathers. And I can see in this picture here, it says, this is a picture of a penguin molting. And you can see like this is its black and white feathers, and then these ones are like gray and fluffy. If you've ever seen the movie Mumble, Mumble's kind of molting throughout most of the movie, and he goes from like this gray, cute little baby penguin to an adult. But according to this, penguins molt multiple times in their life. Old feathers are replaced by new healthy ones. There are always enough feathers at one time to keep the penguin warm on land, but there are not enough to protect from cold ocean water, so they cannot hunt for food while molting. After 2 to 4 weeks of molting, the hungry penguins can hunt again. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine not eating for 2 to 4 weeks. They must be starving. I'm kind of wondering if this 5 pounds of food that they eat each day kind of helps sustain them for a little while throughout this time. But again, so their diet is really kind of affected when they're molting. So I'm going to go back to my organizer. I'm just going to, so because penguins molt, we're just going to add that in here. They don't eat for 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. All right. Let's read one more page. Sorry, my picture's in the way. The other time penguins fast is when they are breeding or taking care of their eggs. Some penguins fast for months. It depends on the species and whether the penguin is male or female. Some penguins take turns fasting. One parent will hunt for food while the other protects the eggs. Then they trade places for a while. Most penguin parents, however, do not share the hard work of staying on land to care for their eggs. Instead, the mother leaves to hunt in the ocean while the father guards the eggs. The male emperor penguin has the longest fasting period. It can last up to 4 months. Whoa. And then here's a picture of a male emperor penguin, and it says it's protecting its egg by holding it on top of its feet and covering it with a fold of skin. So there's our picture and caption there. I want you to try. Think about what I've just read on this page, and what cause and effect can you find that's related to a penguin's diet? Pause this video and give yourself some time to think. Great. Look at all the notes that we took. I've completely filled up this chart, and I've even added way more than 3 causes and effects. This is one type of text structure that you can use. I've also filled out another chart. Here's my sequence chart. I used this from other books that I was reading about penguins and other things I was learning about their diet as well. And I just wanted to better kind of visualize the steps of a penguin's hunt for its prey. So I have first, penguins dive in the water looking for a school of fish, but not too deep. Penguins chase fish and hook one with their beaks. After, penguins swallow a fish using the barbs on their tongues to help it from slipping out. They swallow in one gulp. And finally, penguins hunt for another fish. Remember, they have to eat a lot of pounds of fish each day. Now you try it. As you read today, try to be on the lookout for signal words of these text structures, and think about some diagrams that you can incorporate into your notes to get a better idea of the information that you're learning. Happy hunting!